This video we're going to do some reviews of the original section of Kendall. This is not the annex section, but this is the older section. And as we first come in here, the first couple of areas you'll see, I'm just going to go by them. I'm not going to give too many reviews, or it's a little tight in this front section, but we're going to go over those one by one, and then if you hold off, we'll go over some of my favorite sites at the end. And notice on most of these that there actually are extra spots. You'll have the place for your camper, and you'll have a spot for your car as well to have an additional parking area. But for the most part, these are kind of small in this area. So when you're coming into the old part of Kendall and you pass this one place here, you go in, and this is where it begins some of my favorite campgrounds. And say that first part I showed you just by driving by them, and those are pretty tight, but these sites are excellent. Most of these ones in the front get booked up really fast. 74 here is great, and we won't look at the first couple ones. They're usually booked pretty quick too, but this next one on the left, we'll look at it because it's really deep. 73, really deep. You got a big rig sitting in that one, and like I say, he'll have a neighbor off to his right, but you don't usually see that way, and it's enough wood you don't really see, and he basically looks into that field. Over here back on the other side, another big rig here. This site looks really nice as well. It is site number 72. It's not as deep. And then across the street is 71. And it's again another deep site. And the way it's angled, you're looking into that field. Closest neighbor's over here. You can barely see him as well. And it's got one on his backside a little bit. 70 is a decent one, but it has a power box over here. You're kind of looking at that power box, so I don't know if you want to deal with that, but other than that, it's pretty secluded. Looking back at 69, looks like it's a pretty nice deep one. Like I say, I'm coming in this backwards because that loop is not completely open, but I believe that loop will probably be open pretty soon. We walked around there, and it was pretty well done, most of the work. It has some nice sites that overlook the river. Okay, next one up is 67, or no, 67. And that's kind of a strange one because it has two that break off. You have this one here, and then you have one that goes to the right as well. So I'll check the numbers on that, but 68's across the way, nice deep site again. Like I say, let's look at the numbers on this one, because we know 67 is this one right here, and then the one that's back in there is let's see what it is here, 66. And then you have your dump station here, and this is coming up on where my site is pretty soon here. So there you got 65. It's here in Kendall. This is the older section, and this is 64. This is where I stayed at last time I camped, and it's tucked way back in. If you got a long camper, it'll stick out too far, and you'll actually have to go uphill a little bit. So probably 25 foot is the longest you want to put in there. The next one up is where we're at this year, 63. It's got a little bit more room if you had a longer camper, and it's really nice. Has a little bit of an angle. You got to go down the driveway, and It does have an extra parking area over here on this one side, which is nice. So if you're a person that travels with a boat, or you have additional people that come, even though you'd have plenty of room there, they can also park here, and they can walk down some little steps that go into the campsite. Moving down the loop, 62, if you have a tent, it's probably a good site. But if you had a camper, you could just pull in this very top part, and all your picnic tables and stuff are down 2 or 3 steps down to that lower section. So if that's something you like, that's okay, but most people with a longer camper wouldn't like that spot. Moving on up to, I think this is 61 here. Yeah, 61 is kind of short again. Kind of has a drop off in the back. You have a fence there, but you have some open sky there, but it's still kind of secluded, but it's relatively short. And back over on the far side again, this is what I was telling you, it backs up to that field, 60, and it goes way back in there. And you're secluded, and you got that field off to your door side, which is really nice. You have one camper behind you, but you can't really see it from there. Really nice site. I'll have to keep that in mind for myself. Jump back on the other side, 59. It's kind of a short one again. You have a lot of your own little area off to the side there, but it wouldn't go much bigger than about a 25 footer. I think that's what in there right now. Swinging back over to the left side again is another long site that goes back up to that field. Like I say, I really like these, and I think I'm going to try these next time. This is 58. Swing back over here to 57. 57 looks like it's really nice back in there. Again, out back it drops off. That's why I have the fence to keep you from dropping off. But looks like that one will be a little bit of a challenge to level. Keep that in mind. Back to the other side again, and then again this one's a little shorter here, but again it's very secluded. This one here is it's like 56 on that one. Continuing to the end of the loop here, this one here backs up that field again a little bit. Actually, it kind of backs up to woods. It doesn't really have that field. This is 55. This one's a little bit more, it's secluded, but it's just faces into the woods. Not much to look at there. And you're getting toward this back of this area. And currently, this is normally a one-lane loop that comes around this way and goes out this way. But they're doing some work on this other lower part of the campground. So right now, they come down and do a teardrop here. So this site down here on your left is always, they've actually taken the site and made it into a turnaround, and then there's a site right next to it. There's 2 sites there available. There's a bathroom down here, and this is where the access to the river, you can walk down to the river. Now this is that teardrop I was showing you that you come down and turn around now. Currently they're having you go through 54A. Eventually they'll close this off. When they do make this one way again, this will probably be a halfway decent spot, but right now you definitely don't want to get 54 because you're going to have people coming through here all the time. So stay away from 54 until they get the main road open. So like I showed you, this is the roadway road that's closed. They had some erosion problems and they've been working on it probably by the end of the summer. This is 2024, and we're just heading into the summer, but hopefully this is going to be open by the end of the summer of this year because they've repaved it, and I think they have a few more guardrails to put up. But if you were to get this site before, this 53 right here is kind of a secluded. It's at that end of the teardrop where you make that teardrop. But if you have this site here, you're kind of all by yourself because no one will take that site next to you, which I think is 52, because it's not open yet. Eventually it will, but right now it's not. So 53 is a good one, and it's right here across from the river. See the river going by? It's really nice. And I hope that helps you out on finding good sites in Kendall. Just keep in mind that newer section, or the older section of that loop, will be opening up down by the river pretty soon, and there'll be more available down there that I didn't review in this review. So that's all I have for this video, and we hope to see you again on another one.